Not working. All right, here we go. We're here today just to talk briefly for about an hour about building wealth through real estate investing. Today, we're going to talk about the two different types of strategies with real estate investing. The buy and hold strategy, where we buy and hold for cash flow, equity, and appreciation. That's how we build wealth. And then the other strategy is we buy for cash. And so we'll buy a property, we'll either flip that property and get cash, or we'll wholesale that property for cash. And so we're going to talk about the two strategies, but more importantly, we're going to talk about how to combine the two strategies to build wealth. And these guys, the reason why I have these guys here on the panel is because they've done that. They've taken what wholesaling for cash, which is active income. You wholesale a property one time and you get cash, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. If you like these guys, even more than that. Dana's had two where he wholesaled a property and made over $100,000. He's going to tell all your business. But we take that cash, and Dana has done this, and then we buy and hold for passive income. And so the goal that we all have today is to really learn about how to build passive income. We want passive income because we want to retire early, we want to retire financially free, and we want to build generational wealth. You only do that with passive income, not active income. So before I get into that, well, I let these guys introduce themselves and just tell them a little bit about how you guys got into real estate investing.
So I've been with Greg and Keith and Bennett Realty for a little over 2 years. I did try this many years ago on my own, real estate investing, and fell flat on my face because I just didn't have the right leadership, mentorship, teaching. So I just tried on my own. And it was reading or whatever, listening, talking to people. But that really doesn't work too well, I found. So been with Greg for over 2.5 years, and it took me about 6 months before, maybe 9 months before anything happened. So nothing was happening. I was trying, but nothing was happening. And then everything started, and I've been going ever since. So
Give me a little taste of some of the things that you've been doing.
So my first deal was a auction property. I went to online to an auction with Ashton Auctions and bid on the property. Greg has shadowing events that we go out on. So one Saturday we went out on a shadowing event to this condominium in Southeast, and Keith let us in, and we go in, and the place didn't really need any work. And I just thought something was wrong because it looked like it had just been renovated, really nice. It was just, the only thing was all the walls were white. So I told Greg I want to bid on this, and I didn't think. But now I'm getting kind of pressed because nothing has happened in 9 months. I'm coming to the meetings and doing what I think I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. And I said, Greg, I'm a bid on this, and didn't really expect to win, but I wanted to bid. So that was the beginning, and then everything kind of changed inside of me at that point. I felt it. I had something to grab onto, and just did some wholesaling and buying and holding, wholesaling, buying and holding. So for the two of those.
And so buying and holding, how does that make you feel?
Buying and holding is great because to me that's the that's the ultimate, because every month I'm watching my account grow because I have properties are renovated, and I did a renovation. Well, I didn't do all of it. I did a lot, but I oversaw the renovations. I know everything's done properly. I get having any maintenance problems, and I'm just watching the income just come in, and just watching my accounts grow.
And then at the same time, for him, the values keep going up as well.
Yes.
So he's building wealth that way.
Yes.
Did you wholesale that first property? Did you wholesale the first
No,
property?
no, I still have
You
it.
didn't. You haven't.
Yeah, yes, I still have that.
Andre Cooper. Oh, I'm sorry, were you done?
No, I'm finished.
So this is Andre. Andre, introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Andre Cooper. I'm a real estate agent, a real estate investor. I started off in the real estate world by looking for buy and hold properties. I was told that, the number one way to get rich and make generational wealth is through real estate. So I went on and was trying my hand in the Baltimore market because it's cheaper. And I met my now mentor out there, and he told me, talked me into becoming a real estate agent so I could make money to purchase properties. So I became a real estate agent, and since then, I've been buying and hold properties in Baltimore and PG County, and also I've been selling real estate, listed real estate. I've been wholesaling real estate, and I mean, since I met Greg, and that's why I came to this brokerage actually, because he's talked to me about, you know, buying and holding, making passive income and stuff like that. And, so and he's been giving me advice to do so. And he's been making it easier for me. So I just say that.
So doing the investing, wholesaling, buying and holding, what has that done for your life?
Oh, it's changed my life because, like I said, I needed the knowledge first because, and that's what I say is you got to get your knowledge. So, people like Greg, he gives you a lot of knowledge, but I needed the knowledge first. He's basically told me how to buy with other people's money, what we call BRRRR. Wholesaling, and, if y'all don't know, is putting a property under contract for a great value or a good price, cheaper, a discounted price, and then flipping the contract and selling it to an investor who's willing to buy it at a higher price. It could be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 more, something like that. But I've been doing that, and doing that, I've been finding buy and hold opportunities. You know what I mean? So wholesaling is the gateway for everything in real estate. To be honest with you, because it's getting me listings, it's getting me buy and holds, just going in trying to wholesale.
Good. Any questions so far, you guys? So we won't talk. Go ahead.
How do you find your wholesale deals?
So I kind of do everything to generate leads. But what I primarily do, honestly, I cold call. Like, I know a lot of people don't like doing it. A lot of people think it's old or it's dead. But I'm just going to keep it real. Like, it's been working for me. I've been getting a lot of listings. I've been getting some wholesale deals. I've been getting opportunities where people want to buy properties. And, I went to Coach Keith and took his class. He has Thursday night classes. And I took his class to learn how to, talk to people and learn what to say to people. And then once I got that down, just like he taught me how to fish, now it's over now. His game is over. So I feel like I'm going to eat forever because I'm going to find these great opportunities. And it's about finding the opportunities and finding the deals. That's what it's basically about.
Is there any particular go-to list that you use, like a horse list or a rotating list?
Yeah, so I kind of, honestly, I lean more towards pre-foreclosure lists, but honestly, I've been selling a lot of probate estates also, but pre-foreclosures kind of opened the door for everything almost, because sometimes pre-foreclosures is a probate also, and sometimes pre-foreclosure might turn into a listing, or so that's why I really like pre-foreclosures.
I'll go over marketing strategies, lead generation, things like that. And so let's go to the handout. So number one on the handout, real estate passive income is our goal when it comes to real estate investing. So on number one, if you could for me, just underline or circle the words passive income, because that's why we're here. Passive income does what for us? Somebody tell me. Passive income does what for us?
Make you money. They can do.
Somebody, I heard someone say generational wealth. What else?
This is freedom.
All right, I like that too. Gives you freedom. Oftentimes, passive income is recession-proof, pandemic-proof, because when we were in the pandemic recently, my passive income was still coming in. A lot of my passive income comes from Section 8 tenants and the local government, which is paying me every month, despite the pandemic. Did you have a comment?
I was just saying also about retirement.
Does what?
Retirement.
Yeah.
Retirement, absolutely. So I wanted you to underline passive income because that's the goal. That's the ultimate goal that we all should have, is that passive income. Now, number two, we gain passive income through real estate investing, buying and holding properties. And so there's other ways to get passive income. We'll let Jordan speak on that from his perspective in a few minutes, from the financial services side. But on the real estate side, passive income can come from buying and holding what? It's on the handout. Buying and holding what?
Houses.
Residential properties. So these guys, including myself, have residential properties that we're getting passive income from. Some of my agents, a few of my agents have Airbnb properties. A couple have, they have their properties and they rent them out to traveling nurses, assisted living facilities, commercial property, and a few of our students and agents have multi-family properties, 4 units, 5 units, 10 units, or more. That's passive income. I want you guys to have a passive income goal. Like my passive income goal has always been $100,000 a month of passive income. So I don't have to go to work. I'm financially free. I know that I've got $100,000 a month coming in through passive income. Now let's quantify that. What does that mean? And how difficult is that? Is that difficult to do?
I would think so, yes.
You would think so? Some say yes, some say no. But honestly, it's just kind of all math. And so let's say that you have a 4-unit building and each unit is giving you $2,000 a month. So that's $8,000, right? You guys with me? You buy that property right, pay it down, pay it off. Now you're getting $8,000 a month. Now there's some expenses, but just work with me. You're getting $8,000 a month, right? Passive income. You multiply that by, what's the math? Is it 12? You have 12 of those, then that's your $100,000. Or if you have a 100-unit building, you just need one of those. If each unit is giving you $1,000 a month, that's $100,000. Or you could buy 50 rental properties, and I know a lot of people in the Baltimore area that have 50 to 100. But if you have 50 and you're getting $2,000 a month with no mortgage, you buy it right, pay it down, pay it off. That's your $100,000. However you want to look at it, and however you want to do the math. Now, don't get me wrong. There is expenses. What are our expenses on a rental property? What are our expenses? Let's say that there's no mortgage. What's our expense?
Taxes.
So taxes. Did somebody say taxes? Taxes, insurance, maintenance, maybe property management. So there are expenses. So I'm not including that, but just include that. And so my point is, go ahead.
I just wanted to add that generally in most places, you can also raise the rent. every
Absolutely.
12 months. So while you're at 8,000, you can still know.
You could go up 5% every year. And that's also the beauty of buying and holding properties, that the rents go up. And if you do have a mortgage on it, your mortgage pretty much stays the same. Sometimes the escrows will go up a little bit, but pretty much it stays the same. So you can gain more passive income every single month. So that's our goal. And that's everyone's goal that's in here. We want more and more passive income. And whatever your goals are, have you guys thought about what your goals are in terms of passive income? Have you thought about it?
Oh, my goals? I want to make, really, my goals is to make over $20,000 a month. Just, passive income, actually. But that's aiming low, for real.
I would say that for someone like you who's actively out here looking at properties, I would say that that's low. And then you guys, the cost of living goes up every year. And so you just want to make sure, your rents will go up too, along with it. But I would say for you that's low.
Right.
How about you, Dana?
I'm like Dre, I was in between 20 and 30 a month, 30,000 a month. In a short term, say within the next 5 years, that's where I would like to be at.
And so have you thought about what you needed to do in order to get there? Like how many, like you have
No,
a few
so I have-
properties now, how many more do you need? Type of properties, that kind of thing?
And paying them off, well, that's gonna require a lot of wholesaling, because in order to pay these properties off, of course, if you depend on the rent to pay it off, it's gonna take 15, 30 years. But for me, wholesaling is my key to getting things paid off and acquiring more.
Now, is he personally necessarily responsible for paying off that mortgage? Who's gonna pay it off for him? Tenants are gonna pay that off for you.
But I'm
Now, you
saying-
could add a little bit every month if you want.
But I'm saying, but that way is what I'm saying, it's gonna take 30 years for that to happen.
Doesn't have to take 30 years because you're going to get a cash flow every month, right? I mean, that's why we do it. We have a positive cash flow. You can either put some of that money, that cash flow, back into the mortgage to pay that mortgage off sooner.
Right.
You can do it that way. But ultimately, your tenants are going to
Principal.
pay down on the principal. Your tenants are going to pay that off for you. Okay? You like that?
I like that.
A lot of people, that's discipline. Though.
I just don't have 30 years.
Yes, here.
I'm not as young as he is, so I don't have 30 years. He has more time than I do.
So I was gonna say, would you do a 15-year mortgage or would you do a
You can
30?
do.
Yeah, that's yeah, 15 years, mortgage is better.
I like that.
Yeah.
What, 15?
I would say that whether you do 15 or 30, I would add to it at least one extra payment a year. I would want you guys. So here's one thing. So let's say that on any of you guys' properties, are you guys making $1,000 in cash flow?
Yeah, I'm making over $1,000.
So he's making over $1,000 in positive cash flow on at least one of his properties. My advice to him is not to put that $1,000 every month in your pocket.
Put it back on.
Keep that in the bank,
Yeah.
and then maybe every quarter do something with that money. But keep a reserve in the bank, and then take maybe some of that money every quarter and put down on the principal of your property. And then the other you keep in reserve just in case something goes wrong with the property.
So if you put it in the bank, can you put it in a high yielding savings account? I don't know.
He can, as long as it's liquid, he can get it out.
Okay, let's see.
So could you explain a little bit about the cash flow understanding?
Understanding what the cash flow is.
Yeah, why it's so important?
So cash flow is important because there's two major benefits for owning property, real property. The two benefits are the equity and appreciation going up every year. I always talk about a property that I have, well, a number of properties, but let's just take one of the ones I have in DC. I bought that property, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago for about $200,000 in DC. It's worth about $500,000 now, and the principal balance is probably closer to maybe $190 now. And so I've got a lot of equity in that property. And so you might say, so what? You got that equity, but let's just say I have $300,000 in equity. What can I do with it? I can borrow against it if I want to. I can take money out and invest in another property. When I take money out of that property, and I can't take it all out, but when I do take some out, do I have to pay taxes on that money?
Yeah.
That money is tax-free. And so that's one of the benefits of owning real property. The other benefit is the cash flow. And so I want to buy a property. Let's just say it's a property in Baltimore. I want to buy a property where my mortgage payment, where the rents, where I get at least $1,000 in cash flow, where my rents are $1,000 more than what my monthly payment is. So I have $1,000 in positive cash flow. And so that's the importance of cash flow. And the same thing with cash flow. What can you do with the cash flow? I would suggest trying not necessarily to live off of it, at least initially, until you really build it up. Because the mistake that I see a lot of investors make is, let's say they're making $1,000 a month, they're spending that money. Now, if they get a vacancy or there's roof damage or something, they don't have the money to fix it. Now they've got to sell the property. And so save some of that money, but then you can use that cash flow. And then ultimately, like I said, you want to buy those properties right, and we teach you in our coaching program how to buy the properties right. Pay it down. Our tenants are paying it down. We're going to take the cash flow, put it back into the principal, and then I always suggest eventually paying it off. Now, some people might argue, that point with me, but I lived through the recession, and I had a small portfolio of about 13 properties in 2007, 2008, and the recession was damaging. Like, I lost like a ton of equity, and so I just lived through that. So that's why I say, pay them off. Did you have a question?
I do. I was under the impression that lenders were not allowing you to borrow equity against investment properties.
No, absolutely you can.
They are, and so who are these lenders? Because I'm finding that as I try to build my portfolio, they're holding my mortgages against me, and then even though I'm cash flowing on my rentals, they're saying I'm over leveraged in terms of that.
Yeah, I think that's a different situation. We can talk offline. I mean, I would need to ask you, a lot more questions. But they're definitely, I just refinanced last year. So they're definitely allowing you to do it. But maybe because of your personal situation, they're not allowing you to do it.
Are you talking about refinancing or HELOC? Because I have amazing interest rates, so my goal would be to HELOC against investment properties versus getting out of the 3%, interest rate.
Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. So you want to keep that 3% interest rate.
And they'll let you HELOC against investment properties?
I don't know about HELOCing. I know about refinancing. But maybe, like I said, if you like, we can talk offline.
Also, are you doing it through your person or through a company, through your business? Because personally, they look at it differently.
I know, I tried to do it through my business, but the bank required me to put it in my name.
Yeah, you might need to go another way and just go to another lender.
Right.
They have lenders out here that will give you loans and don't worry about your debt to income ratio for investors, especially if you already have leverage, meaning buying whole properties or properties that you already own or experience. You have lenders that'll give you money based upon whatever you're trying to buy. You know what I mean? And they just go by the value of the property and whatever is cash flowing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We'll introduce you to them. So look, you guys, so you understand the importance of buying and holding properties, and hopefully that's everyone's goal, right? And so what if anything is holding you guys back from doing that? Somebody tell me. Is there anything holding you guys back? Cash? Anything else? Anyone else?
Finding the right property.
Okay, that's a good one.
On the right team.
Yes.
Finding the right team. Okay. Anything else holding you guys back? Knowledge. Okay. Lack of knowledge.
Fear of the risk of like buying things that are unseen or buying things far away.
Okay. All right. Anything else? All right. So look, so part of the problem of buying and holding properties, as someone just said, so one problem is cash. And so where do you get the cash? And so what does that mean? So the cash is, for most lenders today, you've got to put down 20% today. Things changed after the recession. And so prior to the recession, there were 100% financing for investor loans. Now, no more. Now you've got to put down, let's say you're going to buy a $300,000 house, you got to come up with 20%, $60,000. Plus you've got to pay for closing costs. And then you may have to pay for some repairs. And so if you don't have that cash, and then my suggestion is to wholesale real estate. So you've got to wholesale. And so I'll talk about what that means. But the answer to that is wholesaling. These guys have done that. And so they've gotten the cash from wholesaling real estate. They've both worked on their credit. Their credit is worthy. They did pick the right house. And so they've bought and held real estate. Now in better markets than we're in today, because today, interest rates are as high as they've been in the last 22 years. But so they've done it in better markets. And so you get the cash through wholesale as a way to do it. Now, Jordan, I want you to talk about maybe also getting cash from IULs and things like that, from insurance policies. Not now, but when, finding the right deal. And so I will talk about our coaching program, of which these guys have been in the coaching program. We help you find the right deals. And so what does the right deal mean? The right deal means, and so real estate investing is like anything else. It's just math. And so you do want to be in the right area, but you want to buy below market. We have a formula that we use, and it's what's called the Mayo formula. It's 70% of the after repair value minus repair costs. And so those are the right properties. As Dana said, through our coaching program, we do take you out in the field, whether it's Prince George's County, we do a lot in Baltimore. We take our students out in the field to find the right properties. We just went this past Saturday to Baltimore. I found some foreclosed properties, and one of which was like fantastic. And I think one or two of our students bid on that property. And so we help you find the right properties. But for me, when you say the right property, what comes to mind is the numbers have to work. It's all a math problem. It's all a numbers game. The math has to work. One of our coaching students called me this morning and asked me to vet a deal for her. The after repair value, which is the value of the property once it's completely renovated, the after repair value was $230,000. The seller wanted $200,000. Now you can quickly do the math and see that that's not a good deal. And so I said, don't waste a lot of time on that property because it's just not a good deal. That's not the right property. Now, the right property for that, I don't have a calculator, but if you were to take 70% of the 230 and you subtract out repair costs, I think when it boiled down to was about 130. I forget what the number was, maybe 120.
You said
around 120 was what she should have offered, just using a formula. So we use a formula in real estate investing, and we don't go past that. And so we keep you from buying bad deals. I've been out in the field with these guys and all of our other coaching students, and we won't allow you to buy the properties wrong. Number one mistake that real estate investors make is they're too eager to get a property, so they buy it wrong. And so we don't buy our properties wrong. There's lots of opportunities out here. You did that? It's okay. We all do. And so sometimes we're overzealous. It's not your fault. Sometimes we're just a little overzealous and we want a property and we just buy it wrong. And so we keep you from doing that.
I know a lot of wholesalers and the asking price never meets nail. And I'm a realtor, so I can look up the
wholesalers?
They're always
She
estimating the ARV value beyond what I think is
Well,
real.
that's because a lot of wholesalers mess the game. Well, I'm just so a lot of wholesalers don't know real estate. Honestly, they just jump out here because they looked at a couple of YouTube videos and then they think they know real estate. But to be honest with you, gotta know, like he said, the Mayo formula. You gotta know how to calculate those things, and you learn those things by getting a mentor. See, they don't know. Some of these wholesalers, you ask them what the Mayo formula is, they don't know. They just put a price on something. So, and a lot of times when you ask them, how did they get there? But, oh, you know what, let me get back with you. And then they got to go check with somebody else. So that's how it's wholesalers out here mess the game up for a lot of people. But if you know real estate, you can even get them to come down on the price. You know what I mean? Especially if they know that you trying to buy.
I just think that you personally need to know what your buy box is. Like what are you buying and what your formula, your personal formula. There's buyers, even cash buyers that they will buy at a higher rate than other buyers because maybe they're buying and holding to rent out. Or I had a property in Southeast DC, Newcomb, I think it was Newcomb Street, where I knew when I went under contract that it wasn't a good deal. I just went under contract, put a contingency date, on it. I think I gave myself like 2 weeks to get out the contract. And I was actually able to get an investor that saw the property and wanted to make it an assisted living facility. And so they were able to buy at where I would buy at 70%. They bought at 80 or 85%. So you never know. It's not necessarily wholesalers are trying to ruin the game. Obviously, a wholesaler is trying to make as much money as they can.
Right.
But there's different buyers out here. And some will buy where I buy around 70%. Some might buy at 80 or 85% of the after repair value. You just need to know where you are. If you see deals that are coming your way, they don't look good for you, then you just keep it moving.
Right.
You don't buy them, but you will find them. But then the other thing is, and I'll talk about this later, you have to actually go out and find deals yourself. Through our program, I do find deals for our students. Lots of deals come my way. We go out in the field like we did Saturday, and I found a couple deals that they could have bid on, and some of them did. One about a year or so ago, Dana, we went out, Dana was in the program, and we found a deal, Dana bid on it, and Dana won. But it was it was what I would buy it for. And so you just have to figure out what you buy it. Some that I've held was beyond the 70%, but it was like in DC, I knew I was going to get a lot of equity, and so I was okay with it. So you just have to determine. But all wholesalers aren't messing the game up.
Yeah, some of them can't get the seller down low enough either. Some sellers don't want buzz. Everybody in the DMV area think their property is almost $1 million. So they say, oh no, it could be a piece of trash, and they want, the top dollar. They want the after repair value price for it. So,
So let me address two other things. Some of you guys said having the right team and lack of knowledge. And so I think these guys would tell you, one of them already mentioned, you do have to have the right team. I would suggest to you to get into a good coaching program. Andre sat in the audience 2 weeks ago, and I gave him a nugget. Now he's been doing this. He's been with me for, it's been 2 years?
About 2 years.
About 2 years. And he supports, but he supports primarily because he wants to keep learning. He sat in the audience 2 weeks ago. I gave him a little nugget, and that little nugget of information made him an extra $5,000 on a deal.
Yeah, the same day.
Because I told him to go back to the seller. He's already under contract.
Yeah.
I said to him, go back to the seller and renegotiate. I don't care what your terms are, just renegotiate. He went back same day.
Same day.
And made him $5,000. Now, if he would have been paying for a $5,000 coaching program, he got his money back like within seconds, right? You guys understand that? And so that's what a good coaching program, mentorship program will do for you. Not only will it help you make more money, it'll get you to your goals a lot faster and minimize all your mistakes. Right, Michelle Van Allen?
Yes, that is absolutely.
All right, pay
Also
attention.
give you
I'm
the
watching you,
courage.
Michelle Van
Give you
Allen.
the courage too.
And so we get our cash. One last thing, fear. Who has a fear of investing in real estate? Someone said fear. Tell me what your fear is.
I don't know, just that, some people, I don't know enough information, and there's more repairs than I estimated, and then it turned into a bad deal. I don't know exactly. We went in there, and then it's like, oh, there's so much more money, and then you're not stuck.
Who can give her a suggestion? Who can give her some advice? Somebody give her some advice.
Get a mentor.
Get a coach.
Give 'em a-
Get a mentor. You need a mentor.
And then just learn the numbers a little bit, learn the numbers, know what you're looking at, get a mentor so they can tell you what to look at, what you're looking at.
See, when you belong to a team, you have a lot of other.
Very-
Yeah, you got a network, and you got people that you can pick up the phone. People call me all the time. Dana, what do you think about? Because of what I do plumbing, heating, plumbing and HVAC, and ask questions. So we work as a team.
And the thing about negotiating, some people have this confidence and they go in and they're willing and
There's a lot
dealing
of
and
confidence.
talking. But when you're new, it's like, oh yeah, I know this person's doing what they do.
So can I tell you something about that?
Yeah.
So no, I hear that a lot. To be honest with you, it's nobody standing in your way from a check but the other person on the other end of the phone or on the other side of the table. So basically what I'm saying to you is that that's just a regular person just like you. You know what I mean? That person, you know, you might have had IHOP this morning, that person might have had 2 crackers. You know, you never know. But basically what I'm saying to you is nobody's better than the next person. So the thing is that fear, you know, so getting in the coaching program will definitely get you over that fear, but and learning what to say obviously will get you to, you know, over that fear. But you know, it's just another person. You know what I mean? You just got to know that. You know what I'm saying? So,
But what I would say is, I'll negotiate for you.
yeah.
You don't have to negotiate. When you're in a coaching program, we negotiate for you. We go out with you. So Dana, Kent Town or Kent Village Drive.
Yeah, that's what came to mind when you said that.
Tell them about Kent Village Drive.
So you just don't let Greg go out and negotiate. You come with him and watch him. I watch Greg. I watch Greg closely and watch him. And I watch him. That's how I learn how to negotiate. And then I take my deals to him. So now I have to negotiate with him because I'm bringing him a wholesale. That's my cash buy. I'm a cash buyer too, but sometimes you do whatever is convenient, you know. So
go ahead.
having to negotiate with him taught me the best.
So Dana, I think was it your first wholesale deal? Was that Kent Village? Was it Kent Village
Kent
Drive?
Kent
Town. So Kent Town, how did you find Kent Town?
Through driving for dollars and mailers.
So he found that property. I think the seller's daughter called him. Her mother needed to move. Dana called me. He was in my program. He called me. The two of us went out and I negotiated with her. And I negotiated what I thought was a pretty good deal. And he really didn't. He called me to negotiate for him. I negotiated for him. I tell this story all the time. And then I negotiated for him, got her to agree. And then he said, you could have did better than that.
But that's how you learn.
Go by yourself next time.
But that's how you learn. It takes time, just like anything else. It takes time to learn these things.
So I negotiated, and so I did everything. I wrote the contract, negotiated, wrote the contract, even put in the contract that I'd get one of my contractors to move her. There's a sort of a stumbling block or hurdle. You know, what am I going to do with my stuff? I said, no problem, because the deal was good. You know, we'll move you. You know, you just get a storage. We'll move your stuff for you free of charge. So I did all the negotiation.
All right, so if you're new, we got you. So if I didn't have you, so we start with what 70% of the ARP lines of credit. That's the beginning. So is that the beginning of negotiation, or you don't want to?
I would say 65, but yeah.
It just depends. But my fear is that, you know, you try to do the formula on your own and you get it wrong. I wouldn't do any investing, whether it's our program or anybody else's, unless you had a coach or a mentor, because real estate investing, you can make a lot of mistakes. It's just going to keep you from making mistakes, having a coach or a mentor. Michael?
Can I say something? I'm one of Greg's past coaching.
Don't hurt yourself.
I'm not coaching programs. I had went through 2 different when they were talking about the teams. This happened to me. I've had 2. I get one team. They started fine, but after a while they just backed off and didn't do anything. Didn't do any of the cold calling, going out looking for property. I was looking for everything and doing everything. Make sure you can get your people vetted. Keith can help you vet people, or Greg can help you vet people. Make sure you got a great team, because 2 times I fell flat on my face because I did not have a good team. They after a while, Keith and Greg both tell you my situation also. I didn't quit. I'm still trying to do it myself. Make sure it's hard to do it by yourself. Make sure you have a good team. Let them make sure you have a meeting with them once a week or twice a week and see what they're doing and to make sure they're pulling their weight. You don't want to pay somebody money if they're not doing their work.
Thank you, Michael.
It's a great point.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Kim, you taking up all of my lunch to learn, by the way.
About being new, and I think everybody in here had that first time being new experience. And I just wanted to briefly share, I know when I first started, going in these ugly houses, right? And trying, with rats boarded up, so I'm like, but being with people who experience, your contractors, your investors, and then walking through these properties, you learn how to price what it is to renovate the bathroom, what it is to renovate the kitchen, what it is, and there are different phases of renovation. You learn how to price, for example, a roof. In other words, when you get a general idea what worst case scenario is to each of these things, now you have some kind of idea, at least what that minus repair cost. Greg gives us an awesome formula, basic formula for the kids. But going out with them to see these ugly properties and remembering that's not what they're gonna always look like. Either it's gonna be you that's gonna renovate it and make it that way, or you're gonna be able to sign to give it to somebody else. But when you learn this value by being with experienced people like Greg and having your contractors to have an idea about the numbers, you learn your numbers also from the contractors. They give you a feel for what price points are. And then once you do that, then and also knowing what the prices are going for, not the top price, where it teaches us how to take the lower price of the ARV, right? And then do the multiplication. You do that enough times with experienced people, you'll have an idea. But every last one of us had that very first one. Even Greg, he said his very first one.
Also, with the shadowing events we go to, many occasions we get handouts, and it has all the information in the handout, repair costs, everything. So you can study it, and you can remember what you saw, and you can,
But the bottom line is, in order, so your goal is to build wealth, retire financially free, leave a legacy, which means, and this is for everybody, you've got to be able to overcome that fear or those fears that you have. And I think the easiest way to do that is to get alongside of people that already have the experience, because you're only as good as who you're around. And if you're only around yourself, you're only as good as yourself. These guys are fortunate because they did join our program. Andre's part of the brokerage. We talk real estate investing daily. And so he's as good as I am, even though I have many more years of experience.
Not yet.
Because but theoretically he is, because he can lean on my experience. So my experience really is his experience. Like I gave him that nugget, and then within 5-10 minutes made him an extra $5,000 on a deal. I mean, that's priceless. So I think we understand that we've got to figure out a way to build some cash, find the right properties, make sure that our credit is worthy to get financing. If the credit is not worthy now, it's okay. You can start wholesaling, and while you're wholesaling, start working on your credit. But we want to get ourselves financially fit so that once we find a deal, now you can act on it. I take you to Baltimore like I did last week and find a deal, you bid on it, we'll help you. Now you can act on it. Or I bring the group a deal in DC or whatever, and I get them daily, weekly, offer to the group. You want to put yourself in a position where you can act on these opportunities. For most of you guys, if you don't have the cash, get the cash through wholesale. Another element of wholesaling is you've got to have a list of cash buyers. So we're going to teach you how to write up the contract, how to find the properties. There's 2 contracts in wholesaling. There's what I call the A to B contract, the purchase and sales agreement between you, the buyer, and the seller. And then there's the B2C contract. That contract is between you, the wholesaler / buyer, and the cash buyer. So there's 2 contracts that we teach you to use. And don't stress over that. We teach you those things.
Just in the boot camp?
Yeah, we give you all that information. You've got to build a cash buyers list. Now within the group, we have cash buyers. I'm obviously a cash buyer. These guys are cash buyers. We have a ton of cash buyers. I also have a disposition platform where I've got cash buyers who've bought in a particular area. You give me an address, I can give you all the cash buyers who recently bought investment properties in that area all across the country. And so there's no issue with cash buyers. If you don't have your own personal cash buyers list to take on these properties, then I do. And then we have like PropStream is some software that we use, and you can get a cash buyers list off of PropStream. But there's never an issue with finding cash buyers. So we get the cash buyers, we put them on the contract, we go to our cash buyers list, and then if it's a good deal, our cash buyers will buy the property, and then you make your money. You make $10,000. There was a time I was averaging $30,000 on a wholesale deal, closing in 2 to 3 weeks. And so that's what we do. Then we take our money that we have with an idea of the end goal is where we started this Lunch and Learn, is to then buy and hold. And so I want you guys to start thinking about what you want to buy and hold, where you want to buy and hold, the type of cash flow that you're looking for, the type of equity, and what your end game is. And so we talked about what our end game was, what our ultimate goal is for passive income. You guys tell me, have anybody in here thought about what your end game goal is? Like what do you need in order to retire? What do you need?
100,000 a month.
Huh?
100,000 a month.
How much? 100,000.
No,
I thought you was going back to South Carolina.
no, I'm trying to stick around.
Okay.
You have 40
40. Okay. So 40,000 a month. Have you thought about how you're going to get there?
Yeah, I haven't thinking about that.
Huh?
I haven't thinking about
So you've got to know. So $40,000 a month in passive income for retirement is wonderful. But I want you guys to know whatever that number is. I want you guys to know what you need to do to get there. Is it you need to buy 20 properties? Let's just say, as an example, in Baltimore, where you're getting at least $2,000 a month in positive cash flow. That will give you the 40. Or do you need to buy a 10-unit building, or maybe 2? And so just start thinking about how you're going to do that. Jordan, why don't you talk about some other ways of building cash flow, passive income, retirement funds, things like that, real quick?
Yeah. So my name is Jordan. I work with Greg and Sylvia very closely at while I work at Worthington Financial Partners. So we deal with a lot of life insurance and investments, and we actually work with business owners on being able to save money in taxes, but also putting away money for themselves and their families and things like that. But what the main thing that Greg was talking about was the IUL. Being able to have a life insurance policy that doesn't give you the death benefit, it does, but it also builds cash value on the side where it grows with an interest rate that's indirectly tied to the S&P 500. So you're really looking at something that is going to yield you more than a savings account or even a high yield savings account, but it also remains liquid as well. So it kind of gives you both best of both worlds when it comes to growth, but also protection at the same time. A lot of times when I talk with people about this strategy, you can become your own private lender if done right. So a lot of times with lenders, they give you money, you have to pay them back at some point. This policy you can utilize, pay yourself back, still grows at the same time. So it's kind of giving you that best of both worlds in a sense as well. I mean, we can go into the business side of it as well, but I think that's
So We got a question?
Yeah, so I've heard that that strategy is very impactful, especially in the South, where they're younger.
Mhm.
So for people who are like a little older, how impactful is that for people like 50, 60? Is it still beneficial?
Yeah, it is beneficial because when you start to get into your 60s and 70s, it does become a little bit more to get started. But that's also the same thing with real estate investing. You only have a limited amount of time in order to put something away for yourself. Cost of insurance does go up with those who are older, but if done right again and properly designed and using it like an investment vehicle, then you can actually put some good money away. It just depends on how much you want to or how willing you are to dive into what you're doing. So that's really what it comes down to.
In the same bracket, I have one, but I just started at the beginning of the year.
It's awesome.
And so if you're putting 500.
Man, we could have gotten her, Jordan.
I know,
right?
It's like, when I make it
Hey, you have family members or friends that want
There
to?
you go. There you go.
My son, my daughter, my
And you've only been coming to these meetings for the last 2 years and seen him.
I'm a long learner, trust it. I just learned about the IUL this year.
It's awesome.
So I acted on it immediately in January. So, question. If you're putting down now, I'm close to 6,000 now, right?
Yep.
Question is, when can you draw from it?
It's a good question. You can draw from it after the first year technically, but I wouldn't recommend that.
Right.
If you want to use it as something that you build over time, it's kind of like there's the wholesaling idea where you can make cash quickly, but the buy and hold takes time as well. You want to make sure you have that for a long period of time, get it to where it's at a point where you feel comfortable taking out money, and then you could either buy a property with it, you could then wholesale and then repay the money back to the policy while also putting money down on another house or another property. So you have multiple things that you can do, but it does take time. But you also know that if you're real estate investing, you want to do this for the long term. So it kind of makes sense.
That's something to think about pulling at maybe 5 years from now.
5, 10 is a good time to get.
And then that leads to my second question. I'm not trying to take it away from insurance. But
You're like,
I'm just curious. If we don't want to use that money, right? Then what about,
wait, say that again?
if we want to wait to use that money,
Mhm,
right? That insurance costs.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on being able to use a credit card just to, you know?
That's fine. You mean to buy a property, you mean?
Right. to get the deal,
Absolutely.
Getting the deal.
right, to get the deal,
Absolutely.
And use the
If it
burn
makes
method,
sense, yeah.
Hard money.
And use the burn method.
I've done it.
Right?
I've done it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've
So
taken it.
here's all I'm suggesting. While we're wholesaling real estate, while we're buying and holding, we do also need to use other vehicles that's generating money for us. And so my daughter, stand up, Beverly. So my daughter, who's 25 now, I took out an IUL. I tell this story all the time. I took out an IUL for her when she was 12. And so now she's 25. I left that money in there and just paid every month. My intention was to use it for college, but I just every semester I would just wholesale a property and just pay her tuition. But anyway, she's got about $40,000 in her IUL now that she can take out and buy. She's already bought a property to live in. She can take that $40,000 out to put down on an investment property, buy that property right, use that money down along with maybe a hard money lender. So she's not putting any of her own money into the deal. She can fix the property up, rent it out, refinance, and then put that $40,000 back into her IUL.
Yeah.
And it's still cooking for her. And then alongside of that, she's got, obviously she's got death benefit and she's got what we call living benefit. So if something was to happen to her critical, chronic, or terminal illness, that same policy will pay for all of those things while she's still living. You want to add something to that, Michelle?
Oh, no. Well, one thing I was going to add is that while she took that 40,000 out and doing everything else, her account is still compounding as if that 40,000 was still in there. Okay, so she took it, she's using it, but it's still compounding as if that money was still there. I think that's very important. And in reference to the guy there, I don't know if you have grandchildren or anything like that, but you can also do an IUL with them, put money in there, but you can be the owner and you can control that money.
Yeah, but by the way, I'm the owner of her policy. So Beverly, you got the 40,000. You're not getting nothing of that.
Yeah, so, you know, that was just another suggestion. If you have grandchildren, and the thing is, it's a great kind of policy to have for them. And I would suggest that everybody gets something on their child, because I hate to say it, but as children get older, sometimes they can do things to make them uninsurable, right? You know, like reckless driving.
Or
stuff
health,
like that.
health.
Huh?
I said, or health.
Or their health, yeah, you know, they can come up, you know, whatever, they have sickle cell, whatever, diabetes. So it's a great gift to have for them, but you also can control and be able to, you know, build and have infinite banking and build your wealth for generational wealth, as we all here for.
So look, you guys, this is Jordan, this is Michelle, and this is Sylvia. Raise your hand, Sylvia. If you guys have any questions about anything that we just talked about in terms of IULs, or I think the bottom line is we need different vehicles to build wealth, and we need to protect our wealth. And so using the financial service, and Doris in the back. Doris is hiding. Raise your hand, Doris. Raise your hand high, Doris.
I want to ask something too. There is a liability, right? Like some people have money in the 401k or first PD. They can go over without penalty to the IRL. And then that policy matures faster because there is a chunk of money that I can trade for the policy, and they can use the money too.
So Doris, Jordan, Sylvia, Michelle, what she's suggesting is at the very least, you guys, and we'll move on, at the very least, contact one of these guys, and they can do a policy review. If some of you guys already have policies, let's say that they don't have the living benefits, you've got the old insurance, or you don't have the benefits where money is compounding in your account, where you can be your own bank and your own private lender, talk to these guys, okay? Now, as it relates back to wholesaling and buying and holding, there was a question earlier about how do we find deals? How do we find deals? Because I think that's another big stumbling block.
Driving for dollars.
So driving for dollars is one way, where you guys just drive neighborhoods. And so let me give you an example of that. You guys pick a neighborhood that you're familiar with, or that you're close to, maybe the neighborhood you grew up in, or the neighborhood that you currently live in. But primarily as investors, we're looking for older neighborhoods where we can buy low and sell high. Those are the neighborhoods that we're looking for. If we drive by a property that looks to be vacant or abandoned, we'll write down the address. Now, just from the address, we can find out who the homeowner is. If you're a realtor, of course, you can look in the tax record to see who the homeowner is. With the homeowner's name and address, we can get their phone number. We do what's called skip tracing. So we can skip trace and get their phone number, and we can call and see if they're interested in selling their property. And so that's one way. A lot of,
CRM.
So we can use a CRM. A lot of our investors use PropStream for skip tracing, but there's Deal Machine. There's a lot of them that we can use. And so a lot of our investors, like Dana, they go to the auctions. And so we teach our investors how to go to the auction and buy properties. And so a lot of our investors are buying properties there. And then just through networking, social media, Andre actually does a really good job on social media, on getting deals. And he's just out there passing out his business cards. He's in front of people. We do direct mail pieces to targeted audiences. Our probably top 2 or 3 audiences are pre-foreclosures, so we can get a pre-foreclosure list. Absentee owners. An absentee owner is one that owns the property but doesn't live there. The house is either rented out or it's vacant or abandoned. And so we can get a list of those. And then why don't you come up here and teach the class? I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
I was told that you're not supposed to contact those people in the state of Maryland that are on the pre-foreclosure list, or you go to jail.
What? Who told
Yeah,
you
can't go
that?
to the
How you
door.
gonna get in contact with them?
Can't go to the door,
Can't go
you
to
can
the
call.
You just can't go to the door.
Why not?
The door.
You can. So what you're referring to is a state of Maryland law called the PIFA law.
Yes.
And so you can contact them, but you have to contact them with the intentions of buying their property. You can't contact them with the intentions on saving their house from going to foreclosure and then tricking them into selling you the property and you strip them of their equity. And so you can do that. You're not going to jail. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's PIFA. You just have to have, you can contact them, you just have to have the right intentions. And you just have to put the right hat on. I'm an investor. I'd like to buy your house. And then you're fine. You can't say, I'm going to save your house from going to foreclosure and then buy their house.
Properties that are boarded up, weeds, grass, tall grass, but they're boarded up nicely. Are they bank-owned properties? Or
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So we see a lot of board ups in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I very rarely see board ups. I have, but very rarely in DC, hardly ever in Prince George's County. But we see a lot of board ups.
Other Baltimore counties that are boarded up.
I don't see them in Baltimore County, but I see them in Baltimore City.
City more.
And they're just most of the time they're homeowners. They just don't want the properties anymore, so they board them up. There are board ups in that are tax sales. Some are foreclosures. We personally stay away from the board ups, and so I don't buy board ups. I don't even buy properties around board ups. So we stay away from them. And so if you guys ever find a property and it's $20,000, don't bring it to me. Because what does that mean? If it's $20,000 in Baltimore, $30,000 in Baltimore, what does that mean?
Need a lot of work.
Huh? Needs a lot of work. May have squatters. Nobody else wants to buy it. It's in a bad neighborhood. Generally speaking.
I just want to say this. We bought helped a buyer to buy a property in DC on Wiley Street a few years ago, and it was owned by the people across the street, and across from it that was a nonprofit organization, and they used the FHA 248 rehab program to fix it up.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that.
So what about
Oh, good question. And so a pre-foreclosure list, there's lists companies like listsource.com, listability.com. Most of our students get their lists from PropStream. So PropStream, you can get those lists from there. So those are probably, I'm not going to say those are the best ways to get that information, but those are ways to easily get that information. Okay.
Are they free? I know a lot of those resources you pay for.
Yeah, you gotta pay for all that.
All of them are paid. You have to pay for all of those sources. And so I'm glad you asked that question. You guys, you can make a lot of money investing in real estate. You can make a lot of money. You can become a millionaire. You can retire, financially free. But the old saying is it takes money to make money. You are not going to become wealthy. You're not going to make a lot of money investing in real estate unless you spend some money. You're going to have to spend some money somewhere. Slowly but surely. There's some things that you can do that doesn't require money. And that's why we like starting people off at wholesaling, because you're spending little money as a wholesaler. As a wholesaler, you don't need a real estate license. You don't need cash. And you don't need credit to wholesale. But you do need to learn how. And so I would suggest spending money to learn how to do it. If you're serious about it. And then getting lists and things like that, you do have to spend money. It's not a lot of money, but you definitely get a return on investment when you spend that money.
Well, I do also want to add,
No, do it.
I also do want to add that I've also gotten pre-foreclosures out of the trustee sale list in the newspaper. Going down to the courthouse myself, looking them up,
Yeah. So all the information, the best information for real estate investors at the courthouse. So at the courthouse, we do have foreclosures, we do have probate, divorce, code violations. And so there's about 8 different categories of information you can get from the courthouse. So that's
free.
it's free, it's gonna take time. There's other places that you can go and pay that have done all that information for you. All right, and so we figure out what's the best way to find deals. And it's more than what I just mentioned, but we're starting to run out of time. But the best ways, and when I think about our coaching students, they're doing deals amongst themselves. They're branding themselves, at least with their own family and friends. They're buying properties at the auction, driving for dollars, direct mail to a targeted audience, and then they're cold calling. Keith actually teaches a cold calling class. So they'll get a list that you're suggesting, and they'll either take Keith's class and learn how to cold call themselves, or they'll get a virtual assistant. And we've used the virtual assistants out of the Philippines, out of Egypt, anywhere else, that will make calls for us. So we have virtual assistants that are making calls as we speak right now. Sylvia? I was ignoring him. So.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Bill.
Bank REOs, are they good wholesale deals in there?
Yes.
Bank REOs.
Any house is a good opportunity, whether it's a bank REO, whether it's a seller selling their house, as long as what?
Price is right.
As long as the numbers work.
Mail formula.
Yeah, as long as the numbers work, any house is a good deal. And so we tend to think that a foreclosure is a good deal. Not always a good deal. Sometimes the bank wants more than they should.
Yeah, that's true.
As a wholesaler, we find the deals, we get a cash buyer, we sign the 2 contracts, which we teach you how to do, and then we go to settlement on a wholesale deal, generally around 3 weeks, we make our money. And then we wholesale again and make money. And then what do we do with our money? We want to start buying and holding. Wholesaling real estate is active income, right? You wholesale a property, you get paid one time. We want to take that money and allow that money to create passive income for us so that we can get paid not just one time, not just 2 times, but for a lifetime. And that's where you guys want to be. You guys need to start thinking about, what do I need to do in order to gain more passive income into my life? Like, what's the first step? What do you need to do in order to gain more passive income? That's the question I want you guys to ask yourself. And I think the answer is, for most of you guys, you've got to be around the right people. I think that's the answer. Now, when we're buying and holding, another stumbling block is financing. And so we teach you guys the right financing. One loan, there's two strategies that I'll talk about really quickly: the Burr method and DSCR loans. And so I mentioned DSCR loans before. We're going to buy a property, and we're going to buy it either using a hard money lender or traditional financing. And we're going to fix the property up, we're going to rent it out. And then we want to refinance to pay off the hard money lender, because the hard money lender is a temporary loan. It's 6 months to a year. We need to pay them off because their interest rate's high. You guys with me? But the problem might be that we don't have the cash to put down the 20%. And so with the DSCR loan, a lender is going to look at the financials of the property, meaning how much rent is coming in, what's the mortgage payment going to be, and how much equity is in the property. If you've got at least 70% equity in the property and it cash flows at about 70%, if the mortgage payment is at least 70% of the rents that are coming in, on a DSCR loan, you don't have to put up any money when you get that long-term financing. That's a DSCR loan. You're not putting up any money. The Burr method kind of works the same. I described it with Beverly's situation, but you guys can buy a property. You can use temporary financing like a hard money lender. You want to buy the property right. That's the B in the Burr method. So we were going to buy it right according to the formula that we talked about. You're going to renovate the property. That's the first R. Then you're going to rent out the property. That's the second R. My favorite is renting out to voucher holders because it's guaranteed money. And the myth is that they tear up the property, but they don't if you manage it correctly. The third R in Burr is to refinance. So we want to refinance out. And then the last R is to repeat the process. Now, we're not necessarily in a market right now where the Burr method works. We want to be in a market where the interest rate's a little lower for Burr, but that's a strategy, and that's a strategy that we teach. We were doing a lot of Burr strategy about a year or two ago, And then when interest rates went up, you want to make sure that you get that right appraisal and that your monthly payment is a little lower for Burr. But if we can do Burr, we get all of our money back. Now we have an asset that we didn't put any of our own money into, or the money we put into, we got it back. Then we take that money and we repeat the process. So now we're stacking up properties in our portfolio where we've put none of our own money into the deal. And so that's how you really become wealthy. Last thing is, I want you to also consider, especially in this market where interest rates are high, creative financing strategies. And so one of the strategies is a subject to. Has anybody ever heard of that? Subject to? And so we teach subject to in our coaching program where we're taking over properties. And so I actually have 2 properties now. Toby actually found a property in Capitol Heights that he's in our coaching program. Raise your hand, Toby. Try not to smile, Toby. Toby found a property that him and I went and looked at on Saturday. And the lady, she inherited the property. She from her father who passed away. I think the mortgage balance is about 147. ARV is 350, 360, 370 is ARV. One strategy is to leave that mortgage that's already on the property, leave that mortgage on the property, because I think the interest rate is around 3%. So wouldn't it be better just to leave that mortgage on the property, take over the property, make the payments, fix the house up, pay her? What I generally do is pay them something up front for playing ball, $5,000, $10,000. In this case, rent the property out because the mortgage payment I think is $1,200 a month, and in that area I could get about $2,200 a month. So I'm already starting off at $1,000 positive cash flow using her mortgage. I've got a lot of equity in it already. Wait until interest rates go down and then do what? Refinance, pay off her mortgage, and then maybe give her another $10,000. That's subject to. I'm buying a property subject to the existing mortgage, where the existing mortgage is staying on the property. We've got owner financing that we teach, lease options, joint ventures, all those kinds of things that we do in this market.
What's in it for her though? Seems like she didn't get much.
Yeah, money every month.
How did you find her property? So the house was getting ready to go to
foreclose. And so you took it off of her hands, but what is she just got 5,000, 10,000?
Well, we just looked at the property. I've sent her
every month.
I sent her a contract. I don't think did she sign it yet?
Like
Every month. You pay them every month.
Yeah, just like you took out a loan with the bank.
Oh, so you just gonna pay their mortgage to them?
No,
to the bank every month.
right.
See, because in pre-foreclosures, they don't get nothing when they walk out the door unless they get some cash for keys. But
And the house needs about.
Oh, you saying? Oh, she was asking. You were asking what happened. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she was doing 20 families. and she was about
I
to
got
get
it.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it needs about $50,000 worth of work, and she
Yeah.
doesn't have it.
Right.
And because the interest rates are so high right now, it doesn't make sense for one of us just to go buy the property traditionally, because now our interest rate is what, 8%. Let's leave her mortgage on the property. Obviously, she's got to be a willing participant, but leave her mortgage on the property and just take that over.
I think she was saying what's in it for.
And another thing is it helps her credit is in the long run.
He said that's what she take as a buyer. I heard her.
You heard the question.
In the contract, the text is the- as the person.
So two things. We either put a lien on the property.
I was gonna ask you, since it was in pre-foreclosure, did you have to catch the payments up?
We will. We haven't, this is just an example. We haven't gotten that far down the road yet, but you always have to, catch the mortgage.
And then since it's in her father's name, is in probate, would that be an issue?
No, because she's already got the letters of administration. She's already gone through the probate process, and the house has been awarded to her.
Does the lender have to approve that?
And so he asked a good question. Does the lender have to approve of that? And the answer is maybe.
As long as they get their money, they are all right.
So as long as they get their money, they're fine. But in the deed, there's what's called the due on sale clause, which means the lender can call the loan at any time, meaning they can say, even though you've got a 30-year mortgage, they can say, I want all my money today. You did something, I want all my money today. That's called calling the loan. They can call it, but as long as they're getting their mortgage payment, they just got caught up. Are they gonna call the loan?
No.
And so all of my years, and when I entered into real estate, it was a market where there was all the investors were doing subject to, they were calling them land installment contracts back then. No lender's ever called a loan, because why would they? A mortgage company is not in the business of holding real estate. They're in the business of lending money. So they'll never do that as long as they're getting it. But can they? Yeah.
I thought they only call it if you transfer the deed.
Um,
So you transfer the deed on the subject too?
You can.
Okay.
You can transfer the deed. What I generally do, I don't transfer the deed, but many people do. So it's either way. I just put a lien on the property, so they can't sell it from up under me.
How do you factor how much work is in?
So that's a good question. So you put the lien for the amount that you put into the property, number one, plus what you've given that person, plus whatever equity that you would have lost.
So who's putting together your documents? Is your own personal attorney or your title company?
Title company can do it.
The celebrate titles,
Mhm.
celebrate titles.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of this stuff. So I don't know what time it is, but we've gone over. What time is it? Oh. So we've gone over a lot of stuff, you guys, and you're only going to retain 10%. Even you, Michelle, and there's not a lot of people that I know that are as smart as you are, because you know how to retain information. No, Michelle. No. Even Michelle, who retains 90%. She is so, no, okay. She's lying, but that was a good one, Michelle. That was a good one. You got me back. Okay, I will stay over this side of the room. I got to pick on somebody over here now. That was a good one. But there's help. Help is along the way. And so, Keith, so this is Coach Keith. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, everyone. Hey, one point I wanted to make, Greg, it goes back to Toby. Toby, how old are you?
Oh, wow.
And how long have you been in our coaching program? Maybe a month? So you got to take action. You can be in here all day and take notes. You're going to learn a lot. Like even your point when you talked about you're new. So if you were on a call or something like that, and someone asked you how long have you been doing this, if you're in the coaching program, you're going to learn to say, we have been doing this for 30 years. See, so there are little nuances that we teach. In your handout, there is a I think there's a flyer on setting an appointment, which I'm sure Greg will maybe touch on.
So you guys go to are you finished, Keith? Go ahead.
One more thing I wanted to say. We kind of went over it. As a coach, when I see this, the 1 through 17, you got to circle number 12. You got to put some sprinkle dust on it, highlight it, because you can learn all of this. But if you're not in front of people, it doesn't mean a hill of beans. You got to get in front of people. How many people can you get in front of before the holiday season? And there's other things that go along with it, goals and things like that. But I'll be here, we can talk later, but you gotta take action.
And real quick, I just want to say that Keith does a great job at it. He gives a cold calling class. He does. I try not to miss it on Thursday nights. I'll be there tonight.
I'll invite all you guys, Thursday night.
You're not gonna watch the game.
Right after the class.
But there's just nuances out there. It's at 6:30 tonight. It's a Zoom call.
And so what it does, it not only helps me with cold calling. It's something you got to talk to people at some point, and it helps with that.
So look, you guys, real quick, we want to sit down with you and just kind of go over your goals. And so on this page where it says the inner circle, there's a QR code. Go onto the QR code and schedule an appointment with us. Go onto the QR code, schedule an appointment. I know a few of you guys already have. We do have an inner circle where we teach you how to invest in real estate. We have joint venture opportunities where we'll do a joint venture with you. We have deals that come our way that we give to our investor clients, our team members. We go out in the field. And so we go out in the field to look at real life opportunities that you can bid on, like Dana did. And so we do that once a month. Once a week, we have a Q&A where we hop on the phone every Tuesday at 8:00, and you ask all the questions you want to ask. Coach Keith meets with you. Really, it's unlimited amount of time. And so there's a lot of support. We hold your hand. We take pride in wanting to help you build wealth for yourself. We have private lenders. We have hard money lenders that we give you guys access to. I think the most important part is, I think it's just the support that we give you. And so that you don't have to negotiate on your own or find deals on your own. Although we do want to help you, teach you how to find deals. But we do want you to be a part of our community.
Can I speak on real quick on the help? When I bought that first condo in the auction, you got 30 days to come up to deliver the payment. And I got stuck. And Greg came in with his lenders and rescued me. I almost fell on my face.
But I just want to add something too. We're going to give him his flowers while he's here. You know what I mean? But so Greg also helped me out. I was trying to get a property in Temple Hills, Maryland. I just refinanced in February. But I did the BRRRR, and that was my first time doing it. And Greg was the one who told me, "No, do this, man. You know, you got to do it." Because I could have took the property subject to, but it was such a good deal and the circumstances and everything. So I did the BRRRR. And had I not known Greg, I would not know how to go about doing that. I would have not known which way to go, who to talk to, and stuff like that. And I wound up doing it, and I still got the property. You know what I mean? It's a 6-bedroom house in Temple Hills. You know, like a year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I couldn't imagine doing that. You know what I mean? But it's because of the people I was around and the coaching that I had. That's what got me the confidence, the courage, and the knowledge to go ahead and do it. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, it's definitely worth it, you know, to bet on yourself. You know what I mean? Get some coaching, get some knowledge, and then just take action.
And I'll say this as well. Greg has sustained so many different markets. So this market, of course, is a little more difficult for newbies, for newcomers, but he has the knowledge and he has the savviness to be able to shift and pivot. So it's not anything that I can say that he hasn't sustained.
Oh, Michelle, I'm gonna cry.
Even after you messed up.
I know.
You gotta pay her something.
That's right.
I gotta do something.
You gotta pay.
So I will encourage you by all means to, just being around him, is a real opportunity to learn something. I do the commercial piece of it, and I can say that he, even with that, has a great deal of knowledge. So.
Thank you, Michelle. The next page on your handout, we talked about DSCR loans and other type of loans, hard money loans. PRMG can do that. We do have an in-house. We're bringing on board an in-house mortgage company that should be on board within the next 30 days. And so we'll have our own hard money lender. Our hard money lender will lend you the money for your rehab projects, for your buy and hold projects for a year. So you'll have the money for a year, and then they will also convert that over to a long-term loan for you.
What's the name of that company?
You remember the name of it, Keith? We'll get you that. We'll get you that.
Okay, so
It'll probably.
They're gonna loan, do something different than PRMG.
Yeah, well, PRMG can do the DSCR loans,
Okay.
but well, I think they can too. So we've been interviewing them. We're going to bring them aboard. You don't have to worry about a hard money lender anymore.
Oh, really?
We'll have our own in-house. We'll get you the name and number. I'm saying 30 days, but it'll probably be less than that. Well, they'll be able to convert your hard money loan into permanent financing.
Okay.
And you guys know a hard money loan is temporary financing.
Yeah.
It's up to a year,
Right.
little higher interest rate. They'll convert that over for you if you're going to buy and hold that property. But if you're going to flip that property, you can just use it for the temporary financing for a year. Real quick, Celebrate Settlements right here. They're investor friendly. The owners are real estate investors. Everything that I'm saying, that from subject to commercial creative financing to all the type of loans we do, wholesaling. They're the title company to go to. Look, you guys, there's the Capitol Plaza. That's what it's called? Yeah, Capitol Plaza, right across the street. We're going to have a mixer next Tuesday or Wednesday.
Did you say Capitol Plaza?
Crown Plaza. You guys know what I meant. You know what I meant. It's Thursday. Thursday. All right. So this coming Thursday, that's where the Walmart is now, right?
I ain't going there.
Oh, see? I'm sorry. The Crown Plaza right across the street.
Michelle, that's what rich people do.
I know.
So we're having a happy hour networking event next Thursday at
Is that where it used to be, Marriott?
yeah. So where the Marriott,
Yeah.
Greenbelt Marriott used to be.
Okay.
It's the Crown Plaza. Come out, network with us. These guys will be here, be there.
I'll be there.
I'll buy you guys drinks. There'll be lots of food. It's at 6:30. And I think it's just a good opportunity. Did I get it right, Harry? Harry walked up. Whenever Harry walks up, something is wrong.
Right across the street. Right across the street.
Just go across the street.
Just left to the building where his office is.
That's why he jumped up.
That's why he jumped up.
Come across the street, network with us. If you got questions, bring them. Let's have a good time. The key to your success, honestly, and it's an old cliche, you guys have heard this millions and millions of times, but it's changed my life. It's just being around the right people. It's being around the right people, talking about where you want to go, what you want to do. This is a relaxed environment. I'm not going to be up there preaching. But it's just a good opportunity to get to know the team, get to know each other. Within our community, we help each other. We do deals with each other. We collaborate with each other. They collaborate outside of me, and that's what you guys need. If you're fearful of negotiating or anything like that, we'll do that for you. So come to the happy hour. We do have a real estate brokerage, you guys. And so if there's any real estate agents here that want to be with an investor-friendly brokerage, we do give you 100% of your commission. You can schedule an appointment. You can go to joinbrs.com. We'd love to meet with you. I've got my happy team back there. Wave, where's Harry? You can talk to Michelle. That's Michelle. That's Harry. Beverly's in the back there. So if you're a real estate agent or want to get your real estate license, we'd love to have you. We've got one of the biggest and best real estate brokerages in the county. We don't just teach you how to list and sell real estate. Our conversation is a lot different. We want you also to invest, because we know it's not until you start investing in real estate that you'll become wealthy. You can list and sell real estate and make a living. We want you to do more than that, just make a living. We're in Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Big Life, our financial services, Jordan, Doris, Sylvia, and Michelle, talk to them afterwards. And my last plug is we buy houses. So my company is Bennett Team Properties. I am a cash buyer. We buy houses. We buy houses for cash. We buy houses fast. You guys have all the resources here that you need in order to be successful. You just have to opt in. And so go to that QR code. At the very least, schedule an appointment with us. We'd love to sit down and talk to you about what your goals are for the next 12 months. And we'd love to help you get there. Any last words for you guys?
I would say just if you really want something different in life, because this economy and this society and this world is getting so unpredictable. If you want something in life and want to do something different, you have to make an investment in yourself and do the work. So I would say it depends on where you are mentally and where you want to be. Say jump in and do the work.
I would say the same thing. I would say is mentally is all about mindset. If you can think yourself there, you can get there. So it's about mindset. It's about being around the right people. Getting the knowledge and then taking action. I mean, you got to take action. You can come to 1,000 of these classes, but to be honest with you, the real learning curve is when you get out there and stumble, and just like when you learn how to ride that bike when you were young. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. And but having that coaching and having that knowledge and having a team of people that's there to kind of support you is definitely half the battle, and it makes the journey easier. You know what I mean? And you reach your goals faster. So,
thank you. Any last questions, you guys?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Which lender do you, attorney do you use to write up your operating agreements for your LLC and your article of organization?
I mean, we have a number of them. We've got a number of templates that we use. Mm-hmm. I can sit down with you personally and do them, but we have a lot of templates where you just plug it in information. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's not that difficult. I wouldn't. I mean, you can hire an attorney for that if you want to.
Because otherwise, I'm just gonna write my name and or sign.
You can do that, but we teach you how to do that. We'll teach you how to do that on a contract, so that you can assign the contract. So we'll teach you. Anybody? Go ahead.
Yeah, so when it comes to the coaching program, couples look at it as one.
Yes. Yeah. You guys can sign up together, but just schedule an appointment to talk to us. Sylvia?
And I just want to say that everyone in this room needs to be protected. If you don't have protection, you need to be protected. And if you do, you need a policy review. You need to protect yourself, your family, and your property. So just let us know if you're interested, and we'll give you a call.
Toby?
What's a good credit score to have?
So the question is, what's a good credit score to have? I'll say a good credit score to have is a 680. Now, do you necessarily need a 680 credit score to buy an investment property? No. You don't. There's other, what they call compensating factors that have a lot to do with whether or not you qualify. Now, obviously, if you're doing creative financing strategies like the subject to, then nobody's even looking at your credit. I'll also say this, though. If your credit is not a 680, do everything you can to get there and beyond, obviously. But credit score as a real estate investor doesn't necessarily hold us back. I know some investors that all they do is creative financing strategies. So no one's ever even looking at their credit. But you want to get your credit score up because you need your credit score for other things outside of real estate investing. And so try to get that credit score up. And I know a lot of you guys have great credit, but so what? You got good credit, so what? If you're not using it to help you build wealth, I don't care if you got an 800 credit score. I know you got an 800 credit score. I can look at you. So what? So what? I don't care. Use it.
You gotta buy some properties or something.
Is it 800? Ooh! He's at 800.
I'm gonna call you for an authorized user tonight.
Within our coaching program are these. So like I said, you'll meet with us one-on-one. We have weekly, we have a couple monthly events. We have an 8-week course that's virtual that you can learn on your own. But the support is daily. But
Toby calls me every day.
Every week there's something. We have something every week. We go out in the field every week. We have mentorship every week. Once a month we do a mindset session. Every week we do a Q&A, like I said. There's trainings all the time. But go to the QR code. If you're online, you can just go to brsinnercircle.com. brsinnercircle.com, or go to my YouTube, my Instagram, and click on my profile, and the QR code is in there. So either go to brsinnercircle.com. I'm sorry, bbcinnercircle.com, bbcinnercircle.com. Anything else, you guys? All right, you guys, let's eat some lunch. We'll be up here if you guys have any questions.